Many engineering companies that have reviewed the new law have come to the conclusion that, at least for the phase 2 requirements and the phase 2 report, that a threshold inspector, also known as a special inspector, has to be the one that inspects the property and performs the testing. So one of the things that we're advising our clients is that when they go through the process of interviewing architecture firms and engineering firms, that they make sure that that firm has someone on staff that is a threshold inspector, also known as a special inspector. This is an important question because there are very few special inspectors or threshold inspectors in Florida. In fact, the number is less than 100. So the chances are that the architecture firm or engineering firm that you interview, they may not have someone that has this special skill set on their staff. So it's an important question to ask. The Florida legislature may certainly change the law or amend the law or clarify the law to indicate that a special inspector or a threshold inspector is not required. But as we sit here today, that question is out there. So if you are moving forward with interviewing, make sure that someone is on staff that actually has that qualification. It's something more than just an engineering license or an architectural license. It requires there to be a certain level of experience, certain number of inspections, structural inspections, and then there has to be a separate licensure with either engineering or the architecture group here in Florida. So that's an important question to ask. The other thing that is a change is that for the reserve study that's now required, the property has to be inspected by a licensed architect or a licensed engineer. So we are encouraging clients to make sure that that question is asked. Some reserve study companies only have CPAs on staff or reserve study specialists on staff, and they're not licensed architects and they're not licensed engineers. So make sure that whoever you are hiring to perform these new reserve studies do have that licensure. It has to be a Florida licensed architect or a Florida licensed engineer. Many companies, especially companies that are nationwide, have engineers and architects on staff, but they may not be licensed in Florida. So that's a very important question to ask with these new requirements. And what we're encouraging folks to include in their reports, in the reserve study reports, is a reference that a licensed architect or engineer did inspect the property.